All right, we're gonna go through the process for prepping instruments for sterilization. So at this point, we brought our tray and our transport container into the sterilization area after the treatment procedure. This is considered our dirty side, so we are gonna drop off our tray. Make sure you have your utility gloves with your regular gloves underneath. And then we're gonna go ahead and open up the transport container. The idea of having the transport container is that way you're not carrying an open tray in case you run into someone, trip or anything. You don't spill dirty instruments onto the floor, or if you run into someone, you don't accidentally poke them or anything like that. So it just makes it safer. Other offices have like a cassette that latch closed that keeps all the instruments together, but like I said, in our clinic we use the transport containers. All right, so what you're gonna do, let's go ahead and just take this out of the transport container. You can throw away the plastic here, and then you can this is considered dirty always. We do spray and wipe these out so they stay somewhat clean, but we're gonna just keep this out of the way under the sink here. And then now we have our instrument tray with our dirty instruments that we're gonna prep. So the first thing you're gonna do is remove any hand pieces. So the motor and the two hand pieces, these never go into our ultrasonic, which is up here, that has a solution that's like a pre-soak and pre-cleans the instruments. So anything motorized, hand pieces, polishers, never ever go in there because it can damage the gears that make those work. So we're just gonna set them off to the side and come back to here. So next we're gonna grab one of these little cassettes. And the nice thing with our instruments packs, all the instruments are color coded. So they all have the same band color on them. So it makes it very nice and organized to keep all the instrument sets together. If you do have a instrument that you had to pull for the procedure that doesn't go with the set, like these two for instance, you're gonna put those in a cassette on their own, knowing that you're gonna package those up individually. They don't get packaged with the instrument set. You wanna keep the color-coded family all together. Just gonna put those, drop it into the ultrasonic. And then for the rest, we're gonna try to fit as many instruments we can into the cassette here. Sometimes you do need to grab a couple. And you still wanna be able to have it closed and lock. So we're gonna close that. Set that in there, and let's grab one more. Get the rest of them. Sometimes the syringe make it a little tricky, and it's okay if that little handle pokes out. We just want to be able to at least latch it closed. All right, so now our instruments are off our tray and the cassettes. We're gonna close our lid. If the lid's closed, that's kind of our non-verbal communication that the ultrasonic has been run and it's ready to open up, rinse off, and package. So if the lid is open, it means that the instruments inside of it have not run through the cycle of the ultrasonic, so they do need to be run. We're gonna close it. We have a little timer down here. Ultrasonic we run for 15 minutes, so you would turn the dial to the 15 there and then let it run there. Come back over to our tray and we're gonna rinse it off first. Sometimes there's debris or materials or anything like that that can get on, so you just want to give it a good rinse. Both sides. Grab a disinfecting wipe. Just as a pre-wipe down, and then we're actually going to wash it with soap as well. Make sure you get all around the edges. And then now let's grab some soap and a little more water, and you're gonna also wash the tray just with your hand and the utility gloves. And this just helps get any more other debris off the tray. And then last, you're gonna rinse, and then we will spray our clean tray down with the disinfectant spray here. So let's grab one more wipe to just hold the edges here. And if you see anything else on there, give it another good scrub, good wipe. If everything looks nice and clean, you're good to spray it down over the sink so you don't drip it on the floor. Oops, don't turn the water back on. Spray front and back. It does get a little drippy, so just shake off any excess disinfectant into the sink, and then you're going to carry it over to our clean drying rack here. So that's where all our trays go. Make sure that they don't tip. So then they air dry in that drying rack on the clean side. All right, so we're gonna say our ultrasonic has run its 15 minutes. So now we're gonna go ahead and open our lid. And this is a basket you're actually going to lift out of here. Let the excess water drain out of that, and then carry it over to the sink. And you're gonna rinse the cassettes off. You wanna rinse all that solution, ultrasonic solution off the instrument. So you can set them there once they are rinsed. Again, making sure you still have your utility gloves on. So now we're going to go through the process of drying and packaging it. So this we don't have to spray down because it always stays on the dirty side. So you'll just, once it's empty, place it back in the ultrasonic. Now take your cassettes. So this is our packaging area here. And you're just gonna open up. These, remember, we have them all color coded. So when you open up the cassettes, lay them with their coordinating banded colors. So you don't wanna, again, package them separately. You wanna keep them all together. And then these ones that were separate, you can lay them out individually. Be careful of the bird lock, because sometimes those can open up, and then you have these tiny little handpiece burrs that can fall into the ultrasonic or fall on the towel, and they can be a little tricky to pick up with your utility gloves on. So you're just going to take the edge of the towel, just kind of dry excess moisture off of those. With the hand pieces, we're not going to have you guys use the Assistina, which is this machine here, but this is like an automatic machine that oils the hand pieces for us. They hook in here, you place them on the attachment, close this, push this button, and then it oils them for like 10 seconds. So for now, we're just going to show you how we package those up. All right, so we have different size packages. Your bigger instrument sets are going to be in the bigger pouch here. The single ones can go in these single pouches. So we're just going to place those in here. Every pouch gets one of these indicator strips placed inside. It's a sterilization indicator strip, and so it is just another visual to know that once they're sterilized, that line turns dark brown, indicating that it has reached temperature. The instrument is sterilized, so it's just another precaution measure. All right, so the end of those, this little tape peels off like an envelope, and then you just stick it on there. So you're gonna go through and do that with all of these instruments. So the motor for the slow speed and the attachment can go together because they're always used together. And then, let's see again, this tape peels off, and then you just fold it down and make sure it sticks and seals. There's different sizes, shorter pouches for smaller instruments, which I'll show you with the fight block here. So we have the smaller one. There's no sense of putting a small instrument into a very large pouch. It just takes up a lot of space in the drawers and when you go to sterilize it as well. All right, let me do the big set here. So this, if you can take a few instruments at a time, you don't have to only pick up one. But again, just be careful because they are sharp. You don't want to poke yourself, and you also don't want to be too rough when you place it into the bag because the paper, if it punctures through the back side of the paper, you have to repackage the whole set because it wouldn't be clean and sterile. So again, just carefully place. When people get in a hurry and are rushing through sterilization, that's when pokes and exposures can happen. So you do want to take your time, but still be efficient, okay? Most of the time in the office, you have a little downtime, so someone would come in and do instrument processing, whoever doesn't have a patient at the time. All right, last one here. Just gonna fold that and place it in here. So now that we have all the instruments packaged, so the strips placed inside, you are actually going to write your initials on each of the packages, so we know whoever packaged them up, if there's anything you know that happened, if there's a missing instrument, if there is instruments that got bagged together that shouldn't have been, we know to go clarify with the person that took care of that. All right, and now we are going to take all of these over to our bin that says instruments for sterilization. So this is considered our dirty side. So you're going to place all of those in there. And then clean up your garbage of the little strips on the dirty side here. Throw these away. And then we're going to go through the process of washing our utility gloves, just like we did for the room decontamination. Wash them with the soap, and then rinse them, and then we'll spray them with the disinfectant spray here. So front and back. And then grab a paper towel to lay those on. All right.